Pick yourself up with Ride Rent a e-bike today and take advantage of the smartest and coolest way to get around. Rental starting for only $30 per hour and less than $100 EC per day. Zip through traffic, save money, and look awesome doing it. Check us out at the Esplanade Mall today. Visit us online at ridersebike.com or give us a call at 473-422-1011. Your wallet and the planet will thank you. Ride Rent a e-bike.
In every detail. At Hostin Funeral Service, we bring comfort to your home with our comprehensive and compassionate services. Large and modernized facility, burial, cremation, and shipping services, pre-arrangements, burial society, notary public with established relationships with funeral homes throughout the Caribbean. We ensure that when your loved one's last wish is to return home, we complete that journey with dignity and respect. Call 718-332-4350 or 917-250-0582, Hostin Funeral Service.
Yo! Yes! Ride along live, welcome to the ride. Welcome to the ride! How you guys doing? Yeah, man. Before we go any further, guys, at followers, the keyword, just at followers, FL, and it should come up. So tag all your followers, guys, because we have a conversation here that I think you might be very interested in. A conversation, guys, with a friend, all right? Long-time friend. He's here with us, chatting. At followers, and let's have this conversation, guys. All right? Night Riders. How you guys doing? Guys, before we go, let me tell you quickly that this program is brought to you with the kind compliments of Lenovo. Yeah, Lenovo. Pro Open Bluetooth earphones. Get it right now at ridebuy.com. Let me tell you guys, Lenovo just did a testing with us. Lenovo said, you know what? We heard about this platform. We know that you guys could deliver. Let me just try you. So they tried us, guys. And we proved to them that we could slam dunk the thing. Thousands of sales later, Lenovo is still with us. We want to say thank you so much, Lenovo. Putting your money where your mouth is. Appreciate you so much. Thank you, Lenovo. G5 Open Bluetooth headphones. It's really nice. I got one myself. It's really cool. Miss Redhead, thank you for ad followers. Lydia, thanks for all ad followers. Now all your followers are notified. Today, guys, we have an interview. It's not an interview, guys. What am I saying? A conversation with Mr. Kevin Peterkin. Now, do you know who Kevin Peterkin is? Now, a lot of people have different, views of the man, right? Today, we go talk, because Kevin have a story to tell. We gonna talk. His musical background, his marketing background, his life, a lot of things, relationship. We might touch on that too. Everything we're talking about it here live, guys. And a new project, a brand new project, which is very interesting to me. And believe it or not, that's one of the main reasons I brought Kevin on today, to talk about that new project. I was so engaged with what he's doing now. I'm like, yo, impressive. We even have here with us, in the last segment, you'll get to meet someone very near and dear to in Kevin's life. We'll talk about that. I'll tell you who that is. Come down to the last segment. Jellyanne, how you doing? Thank you so much. Everybody share? Nice. If you share one, share again, guys. At all your followers. Jolene, big up yourself. Noel Charles, how are you doing? First Lady Lewis, thank you so much. Thank you. I see you. All right. So should we start now? Are we ready to go? Are we ready to go? Lord of mercy. What? Oh, yeah, listen, best behavior today, please. Best behavior today, please. Okay? I know right along our reputation, but I'm asking you guys, best behavior, please. Okay? Okay, guys, so I gonna waste much more time because this man, where should I start? I know Kevin Peterkin from being a marketing guru expert at Digicel. That's where I first met the man. And then I know Kevin to be a media personality. He was a host of a radio program for a number of years, months. He did well over there. His voice is kind of something that you would remember. Once you hear his voice, you remember his voice. Shortly after, rumor had it. Well, not rumor had it. It actually happened. There was a big controversy, a massive controversy, and Kevin was some way a part of that. But don't judge the man. Let's talk. Let's welcome on the program today, guys. My friend for many, many years, as I said, Kevin Peterkin, who is in studio with us right now. Kevin? You're looking dapper.
Yeah, good evening, Junior. Good evening to all of your followers as well. Thank you for having me, man. It's been a long time.
Long time, man.
Yeah, it's been great. I'm happy to be on here. I'm happy to be having a conversation with your followers. So
let me bring down Mike. Yeah,
that's good. Sounds good. Perfect.
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. So, Kevin, how you been?
I've been great. I've been blessed. God has been good to me. And I think that's the main thing. One of my main message is that there is a God, and He loves all of us.
Right.
And that's important for everyone to know.
Right.
And He is real.
Yeah.
Yeah, He is real. Real. Let's just leave it as that. Yeah, we'll get into the details, of course. But like you say, we'll touch a little bit on some of the past, some of where some people may know me from.
Right.
And there's a lot to talk about.
A whole lot.
We got a full segment lined up.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about.
Let's do it.
So where you been actually, Kevin?
I've been all over.
What have you been up to?
I've been up to a lot of cleaning up. And when I say cleaning up, I've been up to a lot of development, a lot of training, a lot of studies, a lot of different courses just to develop myself, to make myself more of an established name in the world, not just in the Caribbean or in Grenada, like how it was, 10, 15 years ago, and even beyond that, but to leave a greater footprint on, people of this world in this present time. So I've been focused on developing myself in that area.
Why did you feel the need, the time that you did, why did you feel the need to leave social media, just kind of take time out to do some personal development?
Social media is a great tool. It's a great platform for sharing information, sharing ideas, but it also can be a very toxic place. And sometimes, because people may not understand your story and they hear one side, they always feel that, maybe this is what it is, maybe this is the truth. And then they start making claims or proclamations that sometimes can affect people. It can affect people who might know you, can affect your family. And sometimes I think it's good for everyone to detox for a while. There might be some institutions or pages or people that you might be following. And yes, it's good to get that information occasionally, but sometimes you have to detox because too much of anything is good for nothing, realistically. So I made a decision to, focus on me for a while. I mean, for a lot of years, over 20 years, I've been giving back. I've been giving of myself, whether it's from an educational standpoint, whether it's from supporting musicians and artists from behind the scenes, whether it's from supporting sporting and cultural groups in Grenada. Like, I've touched every single parish or community in Grenada, lending my support and expertise. And I just felt it was time to focus on me.
Right. When you look back in retrospect, I know they say hindsight is always
2020 vision.
Yeah. Right. when you look back and some of the things that you were involved in, right? Let's take it from a personal perspective, because one of the criticism that I even wage against you is, at one point in time, I thought that you put everything out there on social media, and that is going to backfire and bite you in the ass at one point in time in your life. Do you see that as one of the mistakes or mishaps or misjudgment that you made in your life?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I think, looking back, if we're referencing any particular situation that you're talking about that may or may not be scandalous, like, I don't see it as anything negative or anything that I have regrets about. Sometimes you trust people with certain information based on proximity, and they have the ability to spin that and use it against you. For instance, I mean, we all know a story of a man named Jesus and one of his followers named Judas that had proximity to him and knew about his whereabouts, knew about how he operated, and for a price, a piece of money, he sold him out.
Right.
So can we say Jesus was wrong for allowing this person into his circle? I don't think so. I think everything is divine. There's no mistakes. I don't believe in coincidences. Because, I mean, look at that. We're here now, and we're talking about it now, and I'm sure there's someone who is going to be shaking their head and saying, you know what, it's not that bad after all, because guess what? I'm alive. I'm alive. I mean, thanks be to God and all of the support that I've been getting from, close people, my family as well. But somebody else may not have been able to withstand what I would realistically call hate from within your community. I mean, a people that you would have given so much to, so much of your time to help develop socially, using a platform that I was given to, and in a very meticulous way, find ways to educate the people and show them things that they may not have seen because of my experience. I'm not saying that I have all the experience, but I'm saying that, looking back now, for someone to spin that and use that as a negative, it just goes to show that there is evil in this world. But that doesn't mean that there isn't good. That doesn't mean that we should just fold our arms and give up, and let evil continue. Because, again, I'm here today.
Yeah, I'm happy. Do you think that you were used? Do you think that your knowledge, your presence, just your being was used for one way or another for someone else's development?
100%, but not without my consent. So I'm not here to say that I'm innocent. Okay, let's backtrack for a while. During my time in Grenada, when I worked in telecommunications, I used that platform because I was being used to connect with a large number of people because of personality, charisma, knowledge about, the geography where we lived.
Right.
So I was used, and I allow myself to be used.
Right.
But on the bargain, I use that opportunity to speak to the people in one voice with a level of consistency to help them to understand what I am about, what life can be about, and just different options. So it's not like I didn't give consent. I understand what was happening, but is it to say that I expected the outcome as it may have been perceived? I'm glad that it worked out that way.
Right.
Looking at my life now, like, I don't have any regrets.
Right.
I don't. It doesn't matter what was said, whether it was in malice, whether it was with good intentions. Like, I'm happy.
Right.
I'm genuinely comfortable where I am right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's speak about quickly. Again, this is not the entirety of the conversation, but there are some elephants in the room that we need to kind of jump over a bit.
Are they white?
Hopefully not.
Let's deal with the white elephant.
Let's deal with the white elephants.
Of course.
So you were involved in a major controversy involving Babsy, which was then your girlfriend at the time, and the entire Grenada population. And folks was upset at you, waging allegations that you was a sellout because how would you not standing up for your people and you're standing up for someone else that is criticizing your people? Looking at that, was that a misunderstanding of the perception of what happened?
I'm not too sure what all of the popular views were.
Right.
But at that point in time, I didn't feel like that involved me. I didn't feel like, I mean, for instance, you and I are friends. Mm-hmm. If you're doing your show and you're speaking from a premise that I don't understand, I don't think I need to call you and be like, Junior, you're treading on dangerous grounds. You shouldn't do that because the people would look at it as this or that. What if that's what you want? Mm-hmm. So I just felt like it had nothing to do with me. Like the people who know me, they know me. They know what I stand for. Right. The people whose life I've affected throughout the length and breadth of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, and even beyond that. We could go as far as St. Vincent, Dominica, Barbados, Trinidad, Mairo, Bequia, Union. We could go and talk about, me setting up carnival activities and, Monday night mass bands.
You was with us.
Well, you understand. And we have done, me in my personal capacity, I have pushed for and advocated for culture to spread throughout the Lesser Antilles, if you want to call it that. So am I going to minimize my existence to just one situation and say this was bad? No. There's tons of amazing things that I was involved with, amazing people that I've met from Petit Martinique, Carriacou. I mean, if we're talking about Monday night mass being in Carriacou and what it is today, if we're talking about the first excursion, job excursion, going to Carriacou and what it is today, if we're talking about the first, let's just say, telecommunications sponsored Jab band or Juve band and what it is, like, there's a lot that I can talk about.
Right.
I'm not just going to focus on one very minute thing that, some people feel to have been more passionate about because they felt like I was given this great platform and I had this great responsibility to defend Grenada. Grenada don't need defending. Grenada has been Conception Island from ever since before me, the land of conflict. Grenada don't need me to defend the country. I defend myself.
Right, but I'm sure you heard this criticism before, or did you? Did you hear the criticism before where people say, "But why Kevin is not
saying anything?"
Saying anything.
I've heard people say that, but what am I to say? Who am I? Mm-hmm. Who am I? Let me tell you something. In 2005, there was a global concert. Matter of fact, let's just backtrack. In 1985. There was a global concert called Live 8, right? We all know Michael Jackson and what's this guy named? Lionel Richie. They wrote a song, We Are the World, and we had this big thing, We Are the World, and we all know about that, right?
Right.
That was a part of the celebration of that concert where the 8 great nations of the world were coming together and forgive death of, poorer countries in the world. That was 1985, right? Now, 20 years later, there was a concert called Live 8 in celebration of this same event. This particular concert was called Make Poverty History. Right. So you had all the great nations coming together at an event in Scotland, in Edinburgh, Scotland, and they're having discussions as to how can we forgive the death of this country in Africa. Okay, well, you have this amount, I have this amount. All right, let's just all agree to forgive the debt, give them a clean slate. It was called Make Poverty History. Now, out of all the Caribbean artists, I was one of 2 to be on that concert, performing.
Right.
225,000 people in a huge playing field in Scotland, and I'm on stage with the likes of Daniel Bedingfield, Bono, like name it.
Right.
Performing, representing Little Island, Grenada, and this is something that I'm talking about for the very first time.
Right.
That's 2005, 19 years ago.
So that you think got override?
No, it was just not something that was highlighted. The Bible says, let your left hand not know what your right hand is doing. So I didn't see the need to really highlight that. I did what I had to do. I did all the interviews, in England and Scotland. People asking me about what is my involvement. I did music videos and all of this just to represent what I stood for and what I believe my country stood for.
Right.
But this is something that had happened.
Right.
So should that be overshadowed by one? You understand where I'm coming from?
Right. I mean, listen, I understand that a lot of things got override because I asked a friend before we did this conversation. I asked a few friends actually. I said, Kevin Peterkin, and out of the 5 friends that I asked about you, four was
of one particular view.
One particular view.
4 was of one particular view.
Yeah, and it wasn't good.
But you know what? There's a road called the straight and narrow, and then there's a road called wide, which leads to destruction. And those who are of the popular view, back in the day, the popular view of one man called Jesus was that he was going to come like Solomon came. Mm-hmm. Solomon was a great king. The train of his garment was this long, and he had gold, and he had this. So this Messiah, this king of the Jews, is supposed to come like that. So all the religious people are there like, no, we're waiting for this person. And the man come riding a donkey in regular clothes. Yeah. And the people is like, no, I'm not going to follow this one, man, because the expectation was different to what was delivered.
Right.
So I understand the people who want to follow what's popular.
Right.
That's on them. But then the people who want to do their research and, go through with a fine tooth comb, or use logic, use common sense.
Yeah.
And find the truth, because there is a truth, There is one truth that is different from your opinion, that is different from my point of view.
Right.
And there is a truth. So those who find that, hooray, I'm happy for them.
Right. For the folks that's watching, if you just started to watch and you are lost, we're talking here with Kevin Peterkin. Kevin Peterkin is an artist. Now, the summary of it, what we spoke about earlier, if you couldn't connect the dots, was a few years ago, there was this controversy, right? We're going to get past that because this is not the entirety of the conversation. There was this big controversy involving Babsy and Grenada, and there was this back and forth for a very long period of time, but that has then, quell, and we moved on from that. So Kevin was somewhere in the middle of it, and he just explaining, his position there and why he had to move on from that. Now, what happened after that was there was a major internet fallout where Babsy came back out and stated her position and why she moved on, and they broke up. And everybody in Grenada was like, Kevin just disowned the whole of Grenada. So a lot of people in Grenada that I spoke to at that point in time, even now, remember Kevin as being the person who didn't stand up for his country when he's supposed to, when somebody was not a Grenadian, basically criticizing and talking bad about local Grenadians. So that was the kind of controversy that happened a few years ago. If you guys don't know about it, don't worry about it. We're way past that now. We're far ahead of that right now. So Kevin is here just kind of connecting the dots a little bit for us. Kevin, one last thing about that situation. You moved on, and how do you think that the decision that to move on and just take a break and just clear everything up was the best decision to make at this point in time?
For me?
Yeah, for you.
Yeah, for
from
me.
a personal perspective.
Yeah, for me. I mean, look at me now.
Yeah.
Like, thank God for life. And my life was preserved. Junior, I really don't want to focus on the negatives because I see all of what happened as stepping stones. But if you entrust me with some personal information about you,
right,
and I'm going and saying, you guys don't really know who Junior George is. He is this type of person, that type of person, and the people start saying, oh, really? And I'm sending money, funding his programs, and my company is paying him to sponsor on his show, and this is what he's using the money for?
Right.
Well, I'm going to stop. Are you wrong? Because you entrusted me with some information?
Right.
What if the information that you entrusted me was not the truth? What if this is a past life that you're talking about and where you're coming from? Or what if there was a transition period where you realize that you know what, you made some errors, but you learn from it and you're moving on now, you're a different person. Like, who am I to go and tell your story? You know, a lot of us, the reason why we're stuck within a certain mentality, I'm not even going to describe it, is because other people have told our story. So we believe that we are the descendants of slaves and we were sold or betrayed by other African people and sold into slavery. Okay, where did that inspiration come from?
True.
Right?
True.
Was it not prophesied thousands of years before that a certain people who are the so-called chosen ones, that would happen to them? So why should we still be sitting here thinking, oh, but we were sold from slavery and we need to go back to the motherland and blah, blah. What's all that for? Like, count what we have now. Count the blessings. Count the millions of lives that's lost during that transatlantic slave trade. Count all of that and realize that those were sacrifices that were made for us to survive today. You ever wonder why a rearview mirror is this small and then the windscreen is this big? Because looking back should only take up so much of your time, and it should just be for a reflection, not to see where you're going.
Right.
So I won't be sitting here looking back and be like, oh, this bad thing had happened to me, and here's the reason why. Oh, this bad misfortune happened to me, and this stalled my growth or my for what? I can breathe in now. I have all my faculties, and I have life in front of me now, and I'm moving forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
nice.
that's my
pastime.
Pastime.
You're talking about grown folks.
Grown folks, big man thing.
Big man thing.
Yes.
Big man thing. I have one last question on that line, right? In terms of relationship and being or having your relationship on social media, right? What's your thoughts on that? In terms of having social media exposed to your daily personal life, especially as it relates to your relationship. What's your take on that?
I understand the question, but it's almost as if I need to correct the question.
Okay.
Because only a very small portion of my social life has been exposed. And this was mainly what has been entrusted to other people. Like, I've done a social program similar to your podcast on radio for years. I've been using particular platforms to speak about my personal belief for years. And again, if we're just going to focus on one, I don't even want to call it an incident. I don't want to prioritize it that highly.
Right.
But if we're going to focus on that and judge an entire human being as being bad or a sellout or betraying of one's country and non-patriotic, it's like I'm a whole human being. I'm a whole person.
Right.
It's not just, one relationship. Obviously, we all know that certain individuals have their personal point of view. They have their own agenda. And like, I'm sure you've been used before. I'm sure people have used your platform to promote themselves, and when you realize that, no, it seems like this person have a different agenda that's outside of, what your policies are, you have to path ways, right? It's that simple. So, like, me putting my life is an open book.
Right.
First of all.
But in particular, because I have a personal view on that, right?
Right.
In terms of social media and meta world, right?
Right.
I firmly believe that meta world exists and you feed what you want meta world to know about you. But when you have meta world determining and basically inputting into your personal life, like the decision you make in your relationship and your everyday personal life relationship, I think somehow it affects you, because as soon as that relationship don't exist anymore, it's problematic, because now people are, you gave them the opportunity, the impetus to make that decision.
You invited them in
Yeah.
to be a part.
Yeah.
And some people are waiting for an explanation. It's like, oh, well, but you invited us in, so we need to know.
We need to know. You can't just stop now. And like, what the hell? I need to know what happened. You put me in a soap opera and then you just end the season.
Yeah, that was just a quick close to the season. So.
Yeah, but do you think that would you advise on that? Like if you were talking to a couple and you had that opportunity based on your reflection, would you advise them to take that route, or would you advise them to take a different route in terms of how they project their personal relationship?
It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. Like, my life is an open book. There's no aspect of it or no element of it that I have to hide or I want to hide.
Right.
Like, you can ask me any question and I can answer you based on those questions. So for that chapter of my life that was, public, made public, I'm not ashamed of it.
Okay.
Like, I don't have that to hide.
Okay.
Whoever formed an opinion based on it is like, that's okay. Like, you can still have a conversation.
So let's end the chapter. Let's end the chapter. Okay, let's end the chapter. And you answer this question. Let's end the chapter.
All right.
Why did you guys broke up? How did you guys broke up? Why did you leave and marry somebody else?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
That would end the chapter because we never get closure on that.
Right.
That part of the soap opera.
So, I'm not a melee man.
Right.
I'm not a bacchanalist. People who know me, they know me to be more introverted. Like, the people who knew me from Digital Rising Stars or whatever other performance.
And it was great. That was a great job anyway, by the way. That was excellent.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, being in the top 5, 8 countries in the region, we could talk about that.
Yes.
We could talk about Live 8. We could talk about so many other things that I've done, outside of Grenada, representing Grenada. But like I said, the people who know me, they know me more so to be like an introvert. So that chapter was a big question mark in everybody's mind. It's like, is this not the same person who is advocating for us on radio, who's been telling us about all of this and to stay away from such, like, what happened?
Right.
That is what, to me, that is what convinced people more. Because nothing was said, it was left up to speculation to believe that Kevin is in support of this. That's why he's not saying anything.
Right.
So it could seem like my character was tainted as a result, but no, that's not what it is. I am still the exact same person. I chose not to prolong the bacchanal, if you want to have it, call it that. Like, you realize I'm still not trying to prolong the bacchanal.
Right, yeah, I know.
Like, I have a lot.
After this interview, there'll be no other.
I have a lot to say.
Yeah. After this conversation on that topic, there will be no more.
We got a lot of other things to talk about.
We got a lot of things to talk about.
But the point that I'm making is, like, I'm not into pulling down people.
Right.
I'm into lifting up people. So I never had a response to give back then, and I don't have a response to give back then. Because if I say anything, it's going to seem as if I'm trying to tarnish somebody else's reputation who might be trying to make a dollar just like me and you, using whatever medium that they have available to them. And that's not why I'm here. That's not what I'm about.
Okay.
When we started this program, I started off by saying, I thank God that He gave life.
Right.
And I am alive, That was the premise of, why I'm here. So it's not focusing on the past so much. We got a lot of other things to talk about, like you said. Let's get it.
Other thing. Well, I guess that's as much that Kevin would say about that. But we have a whole bunch of things because Kevin is now an artist, aspiring artist, aspiring international artist, and is working on a project. We will talk about I Belong. We will talk about Big Man Ting. And it is so inspiring because one of the things that when we come back, what I want to talk about is your approach now. Because I know at one point in time you did try to get into politics, and you have you were a candidate, and you now have this great idea that you could input to fix some of the problems that exist in Grenada.
I could help. I believe I could help.
Yeah, I think some great ideas. So listen what, guys. Let's take a quick breather. Drink some water, and we come right back. And don't forget, coming up, we have a conversation with someone near and dear to his life. That's right here on the program. Don't move. We'll be right back, right along live.
In every detail. At Host and Funeral Service, we bring comfort to your home with our comprehensive and compassionate services. Large and modernized facility, burial, cremation, and shipping services, pre-arrangements, burial society, notary public with established relationships with funeral homes throughout the Caribbean. We ensure that when your loved one's last wish is to return home, we complete that journey with dignity and respect. Call 718-332-4350 or 917-250-0582, Hostin Funeral Service.
And we are back chatting here with Mr. Kevin Peterkin about a lot of things. And importantly, Kevin is involved in some major youth development projects. Kevin, let's start there. Your vision for youth development. And when we look at what's happening in Grenada right now, we see a lot of youth are just heading down the wrong direction. What's your observation and what's your thoughts in terms of things that got to be put in place to help that situation that's happening right now?
Well, first off, Junior, I want to say, thanks for your sacrifice in setting up this platform so that, people in the diaspora can get a realistic view of what's happening back home and be motivated or inspired to contribute by whatever means. Congratulations on that. I mean, you've been doing it for quite some time, and I really appreciate that. My view on what's happening is the exact same as everybody else. It's not that anything new is actually happening. It's just that it seems to have been escalated a little in more recent times, in particular when it comes to the levels of crime and, the unwarranted gun violence, realistically. For a lot of years, we've heard about, neighboring Trinidad and Jamaica, even up to St. Vincent and St. Lucia in more recent years. And there's an old saying, when your neighbor house is on fire, wet your own. Mm-hmm. And maybe with or without focusing on the fact that this is right, on next to our doorstep and very close to home, the reality is that it has hit home. And before it reached to a problem where it's out of control, where there's a large percentage of the population seeing this as a means of survival, like other countries where very little can be done, the government has came up with an initiative to help curb that by the gun amnesty program that they have right now, which is by allowing people who may have had a life revolving around violence, in particular, stiff-arming people for monetary gains, or whatever it might be, just certain position and using that level of force, that they can surrender their weapons without any fear of repercussions. But I'm not too sure what would happen thereafter, because these people, they already have a lifestyle. So are we working on some form of rehabilitation? Are we working on maybe recruiting some of these people to join the force and use their resources and their way about Grenada to help curb in that situation? I don't hear much conversations about that in particular, but I think the move of the government to create this window of opportunity where it was already established that moving forward, the penalties would be stiffer. Right. So before you get caught in a situation that could be avoided, or before your son or your daughter or your brother or your nephew get caught, can be avoided, like make a safe avenue to give up this lifestyle, because it's not just about giving up the gun. I mean, the amnesty is about just giving up the gun, but I just think it should be a little bit more than just giving up the gun, because, I mean, you don't just go out and buy a gun or pick up because you want to just protect yourself. Protect yourself from what? It's like something must be lurking close to your door that makes you feel like you need to do that, or there must be some lucrative opportunity where you believe that making such an investment is worthwhile. It's going to bring return on your investment. So yes, we can stiff arm people and say, well, you have a certain amount of time to do it, and if you don't do it, then there's going to be problems for you. But then there's also another avenue where we can, motivate, encourage. I actually did a document that I can share, but it's just, for me, based on what's happening back home, I decided to document certain things that I believe can be beneficial. We can also use testimonials from people who would have given up their guns and talk about what happened with their life thereafter. Is it that person A gave up his gun and all of a sudden the quick-temperedness or the short fuse attitude suddenly went out the window because he didn't feel like he had a backup, so he resorted to amicable discussions when dealing with disputes or confrontation. Like share real life stories or have like a forum where, these people, yes, they can safely hand it in, bring it into the police station or whatever. Do road shows, do community drives.
Right.
Go around the nation, have safe space for people to just bring it in discreetly and, get rid of it once and for all. Come back, have the counseling fraternity, go back to these people, help them to cope, help them to deal with conflict, as a result of hereafter. Because someone know that you have a gun, they're going to tread lightly around you. They're going to let you take advantage to a certain point until they see the opportunity to sabotage or ambush you.
Right.
But if they now know that you're not a threat to them, they're going to approach you differently.
Is that something that you have been really working on? Because I know that you've been involved in the I Belong program. You've been talking about big mentoring, grown mentoring. You went through life and you did things, and now you reach a certain age and you no longer do the things that you did when you was a little child.
Of course.
Has that been something that you've been really working on and really thought and put together a package?
It's something that was inspired by the song. Now, Grown Men is a song that was produced by Mr. Eugene Gittins. Big up to Mr. Eugene Gittins. He's been working with a lot of young people in the music area in Grenada for quite some time, him being a musician who's toured the world as well. It was written by my brother who lives out in Germany, specific for, that was like 4 years ago, maybe 6 years ago.
Right.
Actually, 6 years ago. But it's timely now because it's just a timeless message. Part of the song says, when a man is a baby, we do baby things. But when you're grown, you put away childish things. So obviously, you make a change in who you are. There's a lot that in the song, again, that speaks about some of what's been happening, late last year into this year, where we had, young kids being raped, molested, murdered, whatever the case is. It speaks on, like, grown men don't behave that way. Like, when you're talking about a real big man, we don't act that way. That's childish. So
right.
The song speaks on that, and, from that came the idea to use the song as part of a campaign just to help people to think differently, to focus differently. I mean, it's a really nice party song, nice type of a groovy vibe. And it's synonymous with the gun amnesty and whatever other organizations in Grenada might be trying to help change the mentality of people when it comes to how they interact with, each other. So the campaign idea came from that. So all of the points that has been documented, that's where it came from. Is it an actual campaign that we have boots on the ground implementing? No, that's why I'm here.
Right. We have a snippet of the song that we're going to play. Did you always aspire to be an artist? Was that always something that you've been actively working on?
Yeah, that's something that I've been doing for a lot of years now. I always tell this story to people close to me that when I was about 6 years old, my dad bought a little keyboard, Kermit the Frog, probably just like 2 octaves, and that's where I learned to play. And from that, like, music has just been in my blood. I remember also being in GBSS at the time, and from a very young age, we're always like playing the drums, like everybody, similar to everybody's story, and singing until the opportunity came when I was like 14 years old to form a group. Big up the boys of Endorsement, Alma Boy, Penny, Dilly Dally. These were all part of a group that we formed back then, and we toured Grenada. We did like all of the secondary schools. There were like different events that they would be having, throughout Grenada, and we would be performing there. Then since that time, I've always done, music. There was a period that I didn't want to be in the forefront, so I was more behind the scenes from a producer, promoter standpoint. But music has always been, in my blood.
Yeah.
Always.
Guys, we're talking here with Kevin Peterkin, right? And I understand, I'm watching the comments, and you guys are funny as hell. Let's put it like that. You guys are funny as hell. Here's what you want, right? You would like an opportunity to tear him down. You want to just grab at him, right? The truth and the fact about it is why I'm so impressed by the movement. I could see the growth of a person. Now, I remember as a young man growing up, I made a lot of mistakes. I did things that I'm not very proud of, even like a day like today, a day like today. And if I look back in retrospect, I'm like, I wouldn't make that same decision. So we all grow. And we reach to a stage where now we're more analytic. We could look at things and be like, yo, that was something that I probably would never do now going forward. And you're in a better place. And because you're in a better place, you could share your experience. That doesn't dismiss his experience, his life experience. And it's important that we have this conversation. But I'm still going to give you guys an opportunity because I'm going to put a number up on the screen because I know you guys want to speak to Kevin, and I'm gonna ask when we open up the phone line that you be as respectful as possible. If you have something to say, please be respectful as possible. But understand the growth that this man been through, right? He has been through the process of life called growth. You was young, now you're old, now he's a grown-ass man, and he's doing things more progressively and more positively. And kudos to him on that. Kudos to you on that, Kevin. And again, you see people still in the chat and people still don't understand even why we're having this conversation.
Right.
And
it's all right.
It's human beings.
Yeah. Well, people like the entertainment. Sometimes I'm entertained by some of the characters that you have, as well. Like
I think they're going to like you calling them characters.
The characteristics of people.
Okay.
But you know what, Judah, let me just say this quickly. You mentioned politics, right? So I'm the type of person, I believe, you could try anything once. Yeah. And with that being said, I've never withheld, my passions from trying different things. Like if I think to do something, I'm going to do it. Yeah. At least once. Because I want to give myself, that experience. And that's something that I learned from my father. He was very laid back, and he would always be like, well, try it. If you like it, you like it. If not, you move on to the next thing. Right. And that has been, one of my mantras growing up, which is why, you'd see me involved in, well, I mean, if we go back to, secondary school days, from all the records that I held in secondary school for extended period of time, being in athletics, football, name it, then, music, going all the way, try it at least once. Right. Out there, to the kids watching, to the parents watching, your son or your daughter may get an inspiration from some random video that they would have seen, and they want to try something. Now, because there's no limitations when it comes to information right now. Right. The information is out there. Create the opportunity so that they can try new things, because you never can tell. Therein could lie their passion. Yeah. And that could become the start of something big. I mean, Junior, I remember you from a long time, and I'm happy to see the direction that you're in right now. You have your studio well set up, well proper, and you follow the different groups in the diaspora to bring information about what Grenadians are doing in England, in Canada, in Florida, in New York, back home in Grenada, in Trinidad, and you find a way to get that to us. And I remember when you started, I remember you started a very long time ago, and I'm very proud to see the progress that you've made. So I say that to say that try it at least once. Because you don't have the expertise as a parent, or because you tried it and you fail, that does not mean your son or your daughter is going to fail. If they have a desire for it, expose them to the passion. Expose them to what it is about. Give them that opportunity to try it, because they might become an expert at it.
I hear that.
And make a living from it.
That's right. That's right. 718-701-5720. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to call in live on the program. Let us have a quick conversation here. And as I said, that we have someone very special to Kevin's life. We're going to chat with her shortly, and we'll talk about the I Belong and what it's all about, and how it is positive, and how it would aim to assist people, young men and women. Let's jump to the phone line. We got a first caller on the line. Let's do that right now. Caller, you're live. Where are you calling us from?
Hello.
Hello, hi.
Hi. Good night, Junior. Good night, Kevin.
Hey, Gabby, what's up?
Oh, God. I was just going to be anonymous. Anyway,
No,
Kevin,
no. I mean, your voice, you can't be anonymous.
I was gonna be anonymous. Anyway, Kevin, I logged on a little bit later on from the original start of the program. But
Okay.
what I'm gonna say is that there was a lot of fluff in the beginning. Let's not defer that your situation was a huge national issue. I don't think in recent years that there's been a situation that has held such national interest and for a private person than your situation.
Oh, really?
And
Wow.
it's your private.
I take that as a compliment,
Kevin,
Gabby.
this thing captured the entire nation, and it went on for a prolonged period of time.
Junior,
and,
hold on, Junior. How can we concoct such
people
an event?
vested.
How can we do this again? I had no idea, Gabriella. But that's good to know.
But people are invested, and I would say that mostly everyone who's Grenadian was offended by that situation. To varying degrees, some people may be less, some people may be more. But I feel like if the entire nation was offended, and yes, people are going off in the comments, because you are allowed to grow. We are all allowed to grow. We are all allowed to change our lives. We're all allowed to evolve and become different people. And congratulations on your growth. But in moving forward, accountability is a huge step. And what I didn't get from the conversation was, listen, I may not have done it, but I was strongly attached to the person that did it. And I may not have played a role in it, but I apologize. That would have probably landed better than the fluff, because it's a lot of fluff and no accountability. But I do respect the fact that you're saying, listen, I'm a different person, I have grown, and honestly, you may or may not have been involved in the situation. And yes, we are putting the expectation of the nation upon you by expecting us to defend the nation per se, which you didn't do. And I mean, you didn't sign up to defend the nation, but it's your situation, and it is because of your situation that the entire country got pulled into it. So I do feel like if a genuine apology to the entire country would land much well, and would, because you have a good message here with the issues that we're currently facing in the country with gun violence and stuff like that. You do have a good issue. You do have a good topic here. And it's something that we have to talk about. It's something that we have to address. And it's something that we all need to work towards solving. So I feel like you have a good platform here. You have a good starting board. But I feel like work around the fluff, cut through the middle, and a genuine apology would probably land better with the listeners.
Thanks, Gabby. That's a good point of view. Well, like you did say, you weren't in from the very beginning, and you felt like what I was talking about is fluff. That's actually my life and my thinking. And like I was saying earlier on, the people who I have affected their life, whether it's through personal sponsorship, whether it's through companies that have been associated with, sponsoring their community events. Like, they know me, and they know that, like, I'm not that type of
but this is a
person. Hold on.
Right, but
No. Let me finish. They know me, Gabby. You and I have had interactions before on professional levels, and if you felt that what was happening back then was something like, well, this is not the Kevin that I know, maybe I should reach out and find out what's happening behind the scenes, why he is not compelled to say something or to so-called defend the nation. No, you did not do that.
But that's your personal business. But I'm saying to you that your personal business affected the entire country.
Gabby, the country made my business their own because of this social media platform. I'm not here to argue. What you started off by saying that you came in maybe halfway through the first half of the program, and so you missed some things. The program is not about the past. Junior just wanted to, because of conversation that he's been having, really, to just touch on some of these issues that people seem to have remembered more than all of the positive that I would have done. Like, I started off by talking about Live 8, and I'm not trying to go back here. You said you missed it, and just for those who may have also missed it.
No. I said I missed a couple minutes. Good. I didn't miss the entirety, but I missed a few minutes. So what I was saying is that I didn't hear an apology.
Hold on. Apology for what? To who?
To the nation, for your part in what transpired.
Gabby, are you going to apologize for how people perceive you to be?
Sometimes you have to, because at this point, right, Gabby, you are sending a very positive message,
listen,
right?
But
your message isn't landing because of that situation.
And that's your opinion. It's not landing for you. And that's fine.
No, but I'm reading it in the comments. I'm watching the show and I'm reading it in the comments. That the message is being lost because of the past.
And there are tons of people listen. Right. There are tons of people who see things the way you see it, and that's perfectly fine. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. I also gave an analogy of, Junior said that he had a conversation with 5 different people, and 4 out of the 5 seemed to remember more so that one particular situation that you talk about that some people may view as negative. I don't. And I spoke about
So you don't view what happened with the feud between that lady and Grenada as something negative.
Gabby, thanks for calling.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. 717-015-720. You get that a lot? Do you get that a lot, that type of engagement?
No, I'm never around these type of people. I don't ever have conversations with spirits or people with these type spirits and energy. But I understand it's a part of where I come from. I understand, like, people are allowed to have their opinions. Like, if out of everything else that I say, you're still carrying something that I put down years ago, then that's a weight on you, not on me. Mm. And I mean, I'm not trying to offend anybody who else may be of that view, but they all have their life to live, likewise me.
Let's talk about mindset shift.
Mm-hmm.
And changing your mindset to aspire your goals in the future. What is your view? What is your take on how could people change their mindset for lasting success?
Through knowledge. Through knowledge. There was one man named Saul many years ago, and he had an encounter with one man named Jesus after he would have died. So whether it was a vision, whether it was a dream, he had an encounter with that man. And he changed his name from Saul to Paul. But this said Saul was persecuting the Christians back in the day. He was one of the chief Pharisee or the chief lawyers who would have had letters that he's bringing to a certain place to say, hey, there are all these people that have all this information on all their sins and all their wrongdoings, and we need to go and whip them, and we need to hang some, and we need to kill some. And he had an encounter, and his entire message changed to the point where this same Jesus had a conversation with someone else, and he said that a man, Paul, is going to come to you, and I want you to do certain things with him. The man is like, hold on, I know this Paul don't like we, why are you sending him to me? So we're talking about mindset shift through knowledge of the truth. And, again, like I was saying earlier on, for the people who, when the man Jesus came, the people who expected to see him arrayed as Solomon, with gold and chariots of gold and have all this huge train behind him, they got left. They got lost. Because the man came in on a donkey, wearing regular commoner's clothes, and he didn't hang out with the who is who, although some of his friends were the who is who, but he hung out with the common people, and they missed their opportunity to meet the same Savior, the same Messiah that they were looking for. Now, had they had a mindset shift in understanding that the simplicity in which he came is actually what was spoken of by the prophets from before, now they would have jumped on that bandwagon and followed him, just like Peter and Andrew and James and the others. So through knowledge of oneself, knowledge of one's environment, knowledge of the past, knowledge of the future, then we can have a mindset shift. Which brings me back to the gun amnesty that we were talking about. Now, yes, it's a program where it's now okay for you to bring in your gun to a nearby police station and say, hey, I'm done with the violent type lifestyle. But it's going to last for a while, and then we have the knowledge that if found thereafter, the penalties would be stiffer.
Right.
So that is probably going to make some people like, oh, like I really need to consider this. But a little bit more could be done in terms of educating these same people who would have come from a lifestyle, sometimes from the time they are little kids. They know about their uncle have his gun under his bed or digging some hole in the backyard in the Callaloo or wherever it is. And they understand that because they're hearing these conversations. So that's a lifestyle that they know. When these people give up this lifestyle of protecting themselves from the so-called evil forces, because a lot of people see the government and society as evil forces against their inspiration and what they want to do. So set up opportunities for these people to get knowledge and get information. What do I do now when I give up my gun?
Right. Community power. What's the message?
The message of community power, similar to we know, it takes more than just one household to raise a child. It's a community to look out for, each other. Like back in my day growing up, like I had to have respect for, all of the elders that I would have met on the road. I can't just pass someone that I know or I don't know without, greeting them. That's a no-no. Now, when we have this mentality reinstated or reintroduced or encouraged, then we could build that community power. When we have opportunities to play cricket or football, whether it's 5-a-side or 7-a-side or whatever it might be in a village playing field or basketball, whatever it is, and then we have other people in the communities who are known to cook the best oil dung or who are known to make the best chip coconut chip or whatever it is, like we all support each other. And then again, we know each other.
Right.
So if we're in a different place, a different part of Grenada, and there seems to be a little tension rising, there's someone there to look over your shoulder, and we could all be our brother's keeper. It won't be like this turf war that we have. Because, for instance, when you have Marianne and Monterey coming in Laborie and play football, like we all know each other. We drink, we play cards, we play games, we eat, and we all know each other. So if we're in town Juve morning and we're seeing people that we're familiar with, if one man bongs somebody to fall over the carnage, you don't have 10 people surrounding you ready to fight. We're going to have 10 people ready to jump into the water to pull out that one, give him a drink, and let's just keep going. So when we talk about community, we're really talking about just, sticking together as a nation. I mean, we're just 100,000 people.
Right.
Like, it's easy to do, and we've done it before. In the 80s and the 90s, we've had a lot of that, going on, compared to what's happening now, where there seems to be turf war, and like you have Saigon and Four Roads or the Limes. Is like, what's all of that for? Now, if 2 Sundays ago we all played football in the Limes playing field, there's no need to have no turf war, because like I know you were on my team.
Right.
We played for the same team.
Right. So that's your whole projection. That's your whole promotion now. Grown in the Zone.
Grown in the Zone. That's a theme from the song Grown Men, again, which was written by my brother, produced by Mr. Eugene Gittins. Mr. Legs had a bit to do with it. I contributed towards the production. And we have a music video out, where it's an international music video. We're trying to keep the message, in a broad spectrum to cover a lot more different cultures. And the message is that we have a song for that. Me being a musician and a singer myself, like I believe for every circumstance, every situation we might face, there is a song that's out there, or there is a song that we are going to write that's going to speak to it.
Right. All right, so we're going to take a listen to that song, and when we come back, we're going to have a conversation with Kevin's wife.
You hesitated, why?
We're going to talk to Kevin's wife.
Before we go, my wife is someone who I'm sure a lot of people know, but she has been a big supporter of all of my dreams and aspirations. And I saw the hesitation, and I'm thinking, you know what, maybe you're thinking, because you did ask a question about, the public life, private life. Like, my life is an open book. I don't have anything to hide. And that's just what it is. Like, I'm not living a double life where there's some people who know me to be this foolish person who's involved in gang and violence, and I'm speaking out against it. Like, I don't live that type of life.
Right.
Like, I'm consistent in who I am.
Nice.
And I'm not going to allow my entire existence to be overshadowed by one incident that happened more than 8-9 years ago.
Right.
It's like, before we go quickly, like, it's just like one man named Jesus. He didn't allow one situation where he died to overshadow his entire message, when before he was born in the flesh, there were prophets thousands of years before prophesying that he was going to come and he was going to die. We know that when the time was drawing near, maybe he panicked a bit.
Right.
Maybe he was like, wow, this thing coming close to me, boys. Like, if it could pass, like, I would wish it could pass, but nevertheless, it's something that I have to do. But he didn't allow the grave to keep him down. Sure. He didn't allow that darkness to keep him down and be the purpose of his entire existence. I serve a living God, not the one that's in the grave, because the work that was done in the grave showed me that I don't have to go in the grave.
Right.
He now lives in me, but not the one that's dead, the one that's alive.
Tell your boy. Tell your boy. All right, guys, so listen, guys. We have a video. Brand new song by Kevin Peterkin. And when we come back, we're going to talk to his wife. I Belong. Let's listen to the video, song. We'll be right back. Don't move. We'll be right back.
Yo, tell them up, we not turn down this sound. song for that. Stressed out or angry, just lazy, we got a song for that. It's music alone. Music alone. When a man is a baby, we do baby things. No big man, a big man, don't do crazy things. No girl can drive me crazy, no man can call me baby. Bad mind never faze me, only music that can raise me. We never drink and then fall down. For no, we never fight in no session. With man, come on. Cause we grown, and we in we zone. It's music alone would carry me home. It's music alone. So whether it's hard days or heartache or romance, we got a song for that. Dancing or drinking, feel crazy, we got a song for that. Stressed out or angry, just lazy, we got a song for that. We got a song for it's music alone. Everything's alright and okay. I'm feeling good today. Let the music play and take your stress away. No fussing, no fighting, no chanting. Do the right thing and grow a little bit every day. A big man thing we say. We never beat up no woman. No way. We never go and commit no crime for money. Nah, no teeth in money. Everybody sing. Just because we grown, and we in we zone. It's music alone would carry me home. It's music alone. So whether it's hard days or heartache or romance, we got a song for that. Dancing or drinking, feel crazy, we got a song for that. Stressed out or angry, just lazy, we got a song for that. It's music alone. We got a song for that. We got a song.
Yeah. Kevin Peterkin, guys.
We got a song.
Yeah, man.
It's music.
They say Kevin gets you with that one, boy. Ah, boy. Love that tune. Positive words.
Woman.
Yeah, you like the song? Shamika like the song? Song good? I give you guys the link to check out the song. It's called
And we in we zone.
Grown Man?
It's music.
Alright. Alright, guys. Okay, I'm gonna put the link there so you guys could check it out. Put it on replay. You like it? Nice. Alright, guys. So we have with us right now. My next guest is also a very good friend of mine. She is one of the first person who booked me to do an event, host an event about 8 years ago. I don't know if you remember that, in Brooklyn. And I always speak of her highly, right? I didn't know that she was Kevin's wife. So when we was talking casually, and she said, "Yeah, that's my husband." Oh. So let's welcome with me Pastor Jemmy.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. Let me just get the headphones. What is it? I'm well. Good evening, Grenada. Good evening to the folks in the diaspora, to the ride-along, to the riders, as Julia called them. I'm happy to be here.
Nice,
Thank
nice.
you.
Well, congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
You're now pastor of Jemmy Ministries.
Well, everything started off as I Belong Ministries, and I did get ordained officially in New York City in 2014. 2019, December of 2019. But, you know, I carry a lot of hats for the folks who know me in Grenada. They will know me in management at Cable and Wireless, then Lime, now Flow. And since I landed here in 2016, I just hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Continue to do my work in terms of empowerment, inspiration, motivation. And yeah, I'm here, still doing my thing.
Nice, nice. How is my friend Kevin? Tell me about Kevin.
So, Junior, what people may not know is that me and Kevin go 10 years back. We dated for a few years back in 2012, 13, 14, thereabout, 2013, thereabout. And we had a very strong friendship. We started off as very good friends. Kevin has always been a best friend, someone who understood me, someone who understood. Ironically, we've both been in the telecoms industry. So while he was working for the competitor, I was on the competitive side. So he was an executive, I was in management. We never crossed lines. Our level of professionalism and integrity was top notch because we understood the industry and our non-disclosure agreements and clauses. Kevin as a father has been superb. When I met Kevin, he had one daughter and one on the way. And we developed like a rapport in terms of having great conversation. And it's good when you can have a best friend and someone that eventually you realize that you cross paths for a reason. So yes, we are a couple. That's my husband. And prior to that, we've been through a lot together. Things that we never talk about. What people don't know about Kevin, he's an introvert, but he's always looking out for everybody. And what I can say, this is not any way to get any sympathy. Kevin has helped a lot of people, a lot of Canadians. Maybe some of the choices that we make don't always come out to be positive. But what I can tell you is that he took a lot of positives from even the negative situations. And I remember when all of the saga that you were speaking about, people came to me and they tried to speak to me about stuff, and I was saying, let me tell you something. Yes, Kevin may have had some choices that he made that was undesirable, but at the same time, Kevin was a friend. He was a rock. When I was going through my challenges, he was always there. Like for years, I would always call and say, "Kid, I have this. Can you tell me how to do this? Can you explain this for me?" And I had that rock. And I remember when I would think about who are the top 5 people that I can reach out to, Kevin would always be on the top of my list. Because I can tell him something, and I know that what we discussed is stayed right there, and that he will give me a very honest and candid and even a thorough answer in terms of how to move forward. So my kids, I mean, I have a 16-year-old and I have a 14-year-old, and if people know me, my kid's father is a very popular Grenadian person too. And if my children's father can say, call up Kevin and say, watch, man to man, thank you for being there for my kids. Thank you for being there for Jemmy. Thank you for being there for my family. I know you. I know what you stand for. And shake hands and be like, my kid's father has stepped back and say, you know what, Jemmy, Kevin is there, so I feel safe. You know, so if you have, these are things that people don't know. People see Kevin, I always tell Kevin, he always operates with an alter ego. So when he's in public, he becomes a social butterfly, but when he's home, I can barely get 2 words from him. Because he's either reading, educating himself, doing something productive, working on his creativity, and that's what happens with creative people. Because I have a few brothers that are creative. Mr. Legs is my brother, and he's a creative, so I've grown to understand the creative mind. And it's easy to misunderstand a creative person. So having that level of experience and leverage on the inside and learning to understand people, my whole ministry, I Belong, came from helping women to overcome pain and trauma to live their best lives. And why I saw the comments and I was smiling, because we come from a very, very passionate West Indian background. And we come from a background where we like old talk, we like brango, we love the tea and the ice cooler. We come from a place also where we are very intelligent, very intuitive, and we will, listen, let me tell you something. When it comes to Carnival and Soca Monarch, a Grenadian will build you up now this year, like this year's Lava Man year, next year's Killer year, next year's Mr. Is Third Governor, next year's Unis back and Electrify. And if you come with nonsense the next year, they will have an opinion. So I've grown to understand our culture culture. Because guess what? People, we are Grenadians. That's what's innate. We will share passion. But I promise you, that if somebody come and lash out at Kevin right now, Grenadians will not sit there and stay quiet. They will lash out too.
Yeah.
So I guess they anticipate that. But Kevin is an introvert, and he chooses not to address certain things just out of respect for another woman, because his wife is a woman. He has 2 sisters. He has 3 daughters, and he has, his bonus, including my daughter. So when a man takes a step where he decides not to address something because he respects women that much, you can't blame him or accuse him of maybe not wanting to apologize or accountability. I think that everybody has their opinion. I cannot tell my husband, you need to apologize for this or you need to do it. I can make suggestions. I can say, okay, this is how it looks from the outside, a different vantage point. But we all have to learn to respect each other's opinion. And sometimes, as Grenadians, we get on the bandwagon, and as Specky like to say, it's only 8 days with a stock for. Things that just last for 8 days and gone, with all due respect. So that's why we can't give things too much energy. That's just our culture. We feel like because it's on social media, we have a say, we have an input, and we have to say something. It doesn't always mean that that's reality.
Right. No, the way how you speak, I know that you impart a lot of your knowledge on Kevin. That's your influence on him. That's all you. It's true. People like the Brango, they like the Bacchanal. That's what social media is. They need something to talk about. And even with you coming on here today, they were like, I didn't know that he's married such a beautiful Grenadian woman. They go through that thing.
Kevin, we have a partnership. And as I said, it's good when you can say you marry your best friend.
Right.
Kevin is my best friend. We've been best friends forever, and the folks who know. And because my circle is so small, I'm sure some of them are in the chats and they say, you go, Jamie, because my circle is small, but the people I consider friends, this is not a surprise to them.
Right.
And that's why we're able to, you were speaking about that privacy, we're able to have a full life in public, off public, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Because we enjoy a very healthy marriage, not that it's without any ups and downs and without challenges, but what we do is when we hear it's us against the world, that doesn't mean we have our indifferences.
Right.
So once you start to engage that, people will think that they know everything they need to know. But they don't know anything.
Sure.
And that's something my grandmother taught me, that you could be right in the public, because some people are looking at me now, hold on, but Jemmy's always on Sunday, she's always on social media. We had no clue, because you can think social media can make and break you. You can think you know so much about so much things and you don't know anything. And that's why we have to learn to respect reality, because there's social media and what people want to put out there. I can put out what I want you to perceive or what I want you to believe. That doesn't mean that's its reality. And that's why a lot of people get tricked with, the BBL bodies and all the different things, because perception is not always reality. That's what the book says. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's what it is.
That's good, because my recommendation, and that's something I'm very strong on, right? I myself, I'm a very public person. Everyone know me from being on Ride Along. They see me, they feel like they know me that well. But you see, in terms of relationship, I'm very skeptical about that. I've always been that way. Let people believe whatever they want to believe.
And Junior, you proved that to me this last weekend. I met your wife. She's so beautiful. She's a bundle of joy. We were talking for almost an hour, and we had so much in common. We shared so much. We had so much passionate things. And Junior, I didn't know. I just didn't know, so sometimes you think you know somebody. Everybody knows Junior Ride Along, Amazing Colors, they know, all the different things, but they don't know that there's a beautiful black woman that's behind all of this, because she's your neck, you're the head.
Well, there's two. There is a beautiful black woman and the IRS. They're all behind me.
Right.
They're all behind me.
Right.
Every day, the IRS is behind me as well.
I get it.
No, but it's interesting. It's nice. I like it. Now let's talk about the I Belong ministry a bit, and this whole empowerment program that you run, the Empowerment Initiative. Tell us more about
So
that.
let me tell you, so my the name I belong came from my school. I went to McDonald College. I'm from Sates. I'm a Crown City girl, in case you don't know. And big up to Boise and Terra and Louis Park Electrify, Mr. Lex, Inspector, and the whole. If I live with anybody, just forgive me. So much of a Crowns up there. So I'm a Crown City girl. And McDonald College, our team song is We Belong. And I remember trying to figure out a name because there's something beautiful inside of all of us. That's the tagline for my business. And I was thinking, how can I get a name? And I was walking on, I think it's one of those streets, Peterkin Avenue in Brooklyn. And I was just thinking, we belong to McDonald. And I said, but hold on, I belong is another, the first person. That's something I can just add to the belong. So that's how I belong came up. And it's like I belong, meaning that every single woman, individual, belongs somewhere. And instead of every woman, regardless of her trauma, her pain, her sufferings, her upbringing, the stigma, and everything that she faces, that there is something beautiful inside of her.
Right.
So my business is I Belong LLC. There's something beautiful inside all of us. So that's where it started. So I Belong started, then I started off with my Lula J Foundation in tribute of my grandmother. So I have a non-for-profit that I run. I do work on island in Grenada every December, every school term, and I do work in the New York communities. I go to the prisons, I go to the shelters, I feed the poor, I give, distribute, I send money back home, cash, MoneyGram. I do so much. And then outside of that, I'm into real estate and some other things. But I Belong is the brainchild of where everything started.
Nice.
I started off with a brick and mortar, and then I had to switch out because I had some other engagements, personal career paths that I took on. And that's when we met, Junior.
Yes.
I decided that instead of doing the one-on-one interactions, I would do the holistic approach where I can have the symposiums and the conferences and the forums that would target women. So that's when you did the inaugural year-end Empower Women Empowerment Conference with me, and that's when you hosted for me. And then that started, and I continued doing it twice a year, media review and an end of year review, which included the vision board planning and the different things that we did, empowering women, helping them to have a vision for their life. And my business is very spiritual in terms of the Christian faith. So Malachi 2 and verse 3 says to write the vision and make it plain and wait for it. So those who write it and wait for it so that they can read it and run with it. And though it tarry, it shall come to pass. And another scripture verse that my business is formed above is when the prophet asked the woman, what do you have? And she said, I have a bottle of oil. And she was able to go borrow vessels from her neighbors to pour in the oil. So I came here 7 years ago, and I decided that I was doing well in Grenada and came along as a manager, but I left because I had intentions of furthering my children's, education, and all of my siblings was here. I had no reason being in America.
Right.
But, circumstances. Hold on, where's this thing? Yeah. So circumstances beyond my control, I decided, okay, let me take that leap of faith. And sometimes it takes a leap of faith to get into your purpose. So when I came here, I started advocating for myself, pushing myself to do. And that's when the ministry started, the empowerment started, and now I'm 2 books in. As an author.
Prolific writer.
Yeah.
Great.
And I do consulting and coaching. I'm into, counseling work. I'm a KSAC, which is a credential for alcohol and substance abuse. And I'm still in customer service management here. Oh. So, I keep myself busy.
Doing everything. I'm proud of you.
What's intentional for me is giving back. So giving back to Grenada, whether it's through my intellectual, my knowledge, the wisdom that God has given me, or whether it's through prayer, intercession, I inspire, I coach, I develop, I encourage, I motivate. I do a lot for our people and for my sisters, and I'm proud to say that my first book, Proverbs 31 Woman Will Thou Be Made Whole, 7 Areas of Focus, was a great seller. Thanks to all of the Grenadians who supported me for my first book in 2021. And then, can I shout out someone?
Yeah, sure.
There's someone that is near and dear to my heart. I don't want to be biased, but there's a woman named Sherry-Ann Noel.
Okay.
Sherry-Ann Noel was one of the people that saw what I was doing since back maybe 5 years ago. And she reached out and she said, I want to interview you. I want to share your message. You have a powerful message, and I feel like the population could benefit. And Sherry has always been like one of my cheerleaders, like always looking up for me. If I text her now, she responds. If I call her now, she's always advocating for me and my brother, Mr. Legs. Sherry's just a sweet person, and I want to give her flowers now. And she's always on the ground helping out locals and sending media out there. And I just want to thank Sherry for everything that she's done. So when Sherry noticed what I was doing, she brought me on GIS Live, and that was the most views I had, like 50-something thousand views in less than 24 hours. So I want to say that. And then my second book again, I went home in January, and Sherry interviewed me again for the book that's Renewed from the Ground Up, Will Thou Be Made Whole, which is my second book, and it's a book with 5 blueprints to healing, which speaks about forgiveness, affirmations, prayer, meditation, therapy, journaling, and just the different aspects, gratitude. So I've been doing, my thing. I've been trying.
Great.
And
great
now
thing,
I'm partnered with my husband, which is like we tag team together with the experience we have in marketing and sales and telecommunications. And it's just been a great ride.
That's right. Well, it's been a great ride. There are people out there that they're loving you, they're loving your spirit, your whole vibe, and they want to shout you out. So we give everyone an opportunity to say hi to Jemmy. And you could call in live, guys, on the phone line 718-701-5720, featuring the music and the song of Kevin Peterkin and the inspiration behind it all. And I believe that you're the one that drive that inspiration behind this fella. So when
Kevin is the executor. Sometimes I'm the brainchild behind it, and I will make sure that I put the fire under the pot, and he will just finish with the ingredients. So we are very great. We work well together. We complement each other in whatever way. And what I like about my husband, he's always open. He doesn't feel overpowered with my suggestions and, my ideas. We will literally lay on the bed and come up with ideas. And by the time you know it, we have a full-blown project that we're working on. And we tag team and we get stuff done.
That's right. Yeah, man. Guys, let's take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to open the phone lines. Chat live with Jemmy. We'll be right back. You're watching Ride Along Live. Don't move.
Today. Located inside Rider Excursion at the Esplanade Mall, we handle both small and large orders with speed and precision. For fast, quality t-shirt printing, call Instaprint at 473-422-1011. Get your perfect print today at Instaprint. Printing done in an instant.
What if you had a choice? A choice of joining a line or a choice of making your purchases online? What would you choose? While you ponder on that, the National Lotteries Authority has provided another purchasing option. All their games are now available online. Yes, Grenadians! From wherever you are, purchase your favorite daily and jackpot type games using any electronic device. Register on the NLA's website at www.nla.gd. Top up your account and enjoy online lottery gaming at your convenience. We're taking shopping comfort up several notches. But the choice is yours. Join a line or buy online. NLA, make your dreams come true.
Yes. Guys, I'd like to thank Mr. Kevin Peterkin and Jemmy for coming on the program today to chat, to open up to you guys. He didn't have to come, because I know that he felt he would come here and you guys would put him in the hot seat, but he still came, and that's applaudable. So welcome back, and we're going to wrap it up right now. Kevin Peterkin and Jemmy, guys, thank you guys so much again for coming through. Any last words? That's not a live air call. Any last words before we wrap up, guys?
When a man is a baby, we do baby things. No big man don't do crazy things. No girl can drive me crazy, no man can call me baby. Bad mind never faze me, only music that can raise me. We never beat up no woman. No way, no way. We never go and commit no crime for money. Just because we grown, and we zone. It's music alone would carry me home. It's music alone.
Yeah. That's it right there.
Yo. Tell them turn up, we not turn down. This sound. We so grown up, we not run down. Woman. Cause we grown, and we zone. It's music alone. Would carry we home. It's music alone. So whether it's hard days or heartache or romance, we got a song for that. Dancing or drinking, feel crazy, we got a song for that. Stressed out or angry, just lazy, we got a song for that. It's music alone. When a man is a baby.
Grown man thing this see, right? Big up, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for being a part of our program today. Guys, everyone have a story to tell, and if you feel that you want to share your story here on the ride, we're open to hear it. Give us a call, give us an inbox. Inbox us or call 718-701-5720. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys, I appreciate you. Thanks for sharing. Thanks to Kevin Peterkin and Jeremy for coming out. We appreciate them as well. Guys, if you have a business and you want to advertise right here on the ride, give us a call or inbox us. We have some really great prices going into June. Advertising packages. Call us right now. The phone number, of course, is 718-701-5720. And we have two positions that we're hiring for. We're hiring for assistant office manager in our Esplanade Mall location in Grenada. So if you feel that you have that skill, very, very, very high task. You got to be able to communicate very well, technology, all that stuff. We need you. Also, we need sales and marketing people in Ride Along Live. So if you have sales and marketing experience, please give us a call. The number 718-701-5720. Email us at ridealongtv@gmail.com. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for being a part of our program. Tomorrow, Ride Trivia Live. Don't miss it. Good night.
Pick yourself up with Ride Rent a e-bike today and take advantage of the smartest and coolest way to get around. Rental starting for only $30 per hour and less than $100 EC per day. Zip through traffic, save money, and look awesome doing it. Check us out at the Esplanade Mall today. Visit us online at ridersebike.com or give us a call at 473-422-1011. Your wallet and the planet will thank you. Ride Rent a e-bike.
Today. Located inside Rider Excursion at the Esplanade Mall, we handle both small and large orders with speed and precision. For fast, quality t-shirt printing, call Instaprint at 473-422-1011. Get your perfect print today at Instaprint. Printing done in an instant. in every detail. At Host and Funeral Service, we bring comfort to your home with our comprehensive and compassionate services. Large and modernized facility, burial, cremation, and shipping services, pre-arrangements, burial society, notary public with established relationships with funeral homes throughout the Caribbean. We ensure that when your loved one's last wish is to return home, we complete that journey with dignity and respect. Call 718-332-4350 or 917-250-0582, Hostin Funeral Service.
Right Along Live.
Yo, tell them turn up, we not turn down. This sound, we so grown up, we not run down. Woman, cause we grown, and we in we zone. It's music alone would carry we home. It's music alone. So whether it's hard days